If you're moving about or relocating to Baltimore, Maryland, you have to know these top 3 pros and cons about living in Baltimore, Maryland. If they do not resonate, nothing else matters. We're getting started right now. If we have not met, my name is Mark, and there's nothing more scary and disorienting than moving about or relocating. Please, it's difficult. I hate moving. These top 3 pros and cons, for my accent, of living in Baltimore, Maryland will ease your mind. Number 2 for the pros is all about the money, and number 3 for the cons, it's no joke. It's straight truth. Let's go. Number 1 on the list, and this is the home run. Baltimore has a prime East Coast location. I say home run. There's going to be more, please. Anyway, Baltimore's centrally located on the East Coast, smack dab in the middle, and it just gives you everything. You got planes, trains, and automobiles. Great movie. We always watch it after Thanksgiving night. But anyway, Baltimore's central location. You can be in D.C. in an hour by car. You can take the train if you want to, 45 minutes. Love that. If you want to fly, which is ridiculous, you can be there in 30 minutes. Anyway, so that's D.C. Baltimore's location to Philadelphia, hour and a half. You can take the train up there, you get there in an hour. Take the Acela. You can even get up to New York City. You can drive that. It's 2.5 hours to New York City from Baltimore. That's what you have at your disposal in that location where you can go out to these major metropolitan areas by train, by BWI Airport, affordable, or you can actually drive there. It's not that far away. And that's what Baltimore's location here on the East Coast, it just presents so much at your disposal. How about this? And I love this. From an activity standpoint, you are from the Baltimore, central Baltimore itself, or the greater Baltimore area. You could be anywhere from 30 minutes to 45 minutes to the Chesapeake Bay, which is the largest estuary in the United States for sailing, boating, paddleboarding, crabbing, fishing, hunting, you name it. You have that at your disposal. And the Chesapeake Bay is gorgeous. Not into the water, go over the bridge. The bridge is the Bay Bridge, as we call it. We call it the bridge. You get over the bridge, you can go out to St. Michael's. Oh, lovely. You can get lost there for a day. You can go to Chestertown. You can go to Kenton Narrows. You have all these quaint little Eastern Shore towns that you can get lost in, and it's an hour and a half from Baltimore, if that. Or you can do what I'm doing today, that after I'm done the videos and all that, I got a little bit of work to do. I'm taking the wife and we're heading down to the beach because at Rehoboth Beach, the Delaware Shores, which is 2.5 hours away, a drive, we're going down there to hang out all weekend. We're having a huge Sea Witch Festival for Halloween coming up tomorrow. And ready for this? I mean, we're not even talking about the weather. It's 82 degrees today. The leaves are starting to change colors. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. But 2.5 hours, the central location of Baltimore, you're at the beach. You're at the ocean. And I'm telling you, that is an absolute touchdown. And as a Baltimorean, sometimes we do take that for granted. Number 2 on the list for Baltimore as far as a pro for living in the Baltimore, Maryland, is the gorgeous neighborhoods. Baltimore, the gorgeous neighborhoods, the greater Baltimore area, the suburbs, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But Baltimore encompasses well over 200 neighborhoods. And each one of them, it offers incredible diversity and also affordability. You got iconic row homes, you got newly revitalized areas, you got hipster, you got artsy, you got trendy, you got luxurious, you got edgy, you got peaceful. You give me an adjective and Baltimore's got it from a neighborhood standpoint that will fit the bill for whatever you're looking for. Look, Baltimore has that urban lifestyle that if you want to plug into it, it's all there. A couple areas that you might want to consider from an urban standpoint. You got the Inner Harbor. That's a central business district right near the stadiums, Camden Yards and Raven Stadium. You got Otterbein, very cool. Got some single family homes in there. Locust Point, South Baltimore. You got the quaint cobblestone streets. You're butts right to the south end of the harbor. Incredible views. You have Fells Point, swanky Harbor East, Canton, love that area. You got Hamden, which is the home of the Hun. Hamden, love Hamden. And you got Roland Park. Beautiful, the elites of the elites live in the north end of the Baltimore city, and it's this beautiful, gorgeous tree-lined streets. So from an urban standpoint, you get that. Now keep this in mind. If the urban's not your style and you're scared of Baltimore City and you don't want to live in Baltimore City, I get that. It probably helped. Last year we helped over 97 families move to the Baltimore area, relocate, and probably 11 of them chose to live in the Baltimore city. It all depends on what you're looking for and your lifestyle. But if you don't want the urban setting, you got to remember the Baltimore area, living in Baltimore, encompasses five beautiful counties, and they all vary in one respect or another. Check this out. Anne Arundel County, boom, life on the bay. It's all about the water lifestyle and the Chesapeake Bay. That's Anne Arundel County. In Anne Arundel County, of course, you got Annapolis, our capital, Severna Park, you got Edgewater, you got Arnold, you got Shadyside, you got Crofton, and of course you have affordable Glen Burnie. That is bang for your buck in Anne Arundel County. Baltimore County is where I live, and in Baltimore County, you have that suburban lifestyle, but you're close to the urban center, as 30 minutes away, if that, or 15 minutes away, depending on where you want to go. You have that urban lifestyle with the low cost as far as living in the county. Lots of Main Street USA, such as Reisterstown, gorgeous Main Street, it's where I grew up. Catonsville, beautiful Main Street. You got White Marsh area that has everything in the world. You got Parkville, you got Timonium, Cockeysville, Hereford Zone. Baltimore County gives you that, and you have the rolling countryside. How about this? Carroll County, country style acreage, Eldersburg, Westminster, the county seat, gorgeous Main Street. You got Taneytown. So Carroll County is going to give you that acreage country style. Hartford County is on the north side of Baltimore, and that gives you affordability from the standpoint of Abingdon, Bel Air, Edgewood, Joppatown, and Hidden Treasure, Havre de Grace on the western side of the Chesapeake Bay, and it is super big bang for your buck, and that's Hartford County. How about this? Howard County. Howard County is outside of Baltimore, 30 minutes, and it's that balance between Baltimore and D.C. It's the #1 place to live in Maryland, and it's the #4 place to live in all of America, and that's Columbia. But you also have Ellicott City, quaint, cool Main Street. You got Elkridge, unbelievable schools. You check that out on niche.com. And you got Fulton. Fulton's money. But in all these different counties, you got to remember, if you're saying Baltimore, Maryland makes up that 5-county area, that greater Baltimore area. And whether it's urban, country, waterfront lifestyle, Baltimore has it. And I can show you the way, because I will prove you wrong that it's a fabulous area to live. Baltimore, love it. So you know, we get calls every single day from people just like you. So whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or 120 days, give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us an email. This is the biggest investment of your life, and we got you covered.
Don't worry about anything, all right? I got your back.
I told you #3 for the pros was the money. #3 is living in Baltimore gives you access to a massive job market. Maryland's unemployment rate, you ready for this? This just came out this week, is 1.6%. Unemployment rate in Maryland, 1.6%. Who's not working? There's jobs everywhere. It's because, remember, Baltimore's location, we just talked about that prime East Coast location, Baltimore and D.C. It's all around there. A lot of people work in D.C., live in Baltimore because it's affordable. They commute back and forth. Again, Baltimore is all about affordability. The major employers include in the Baltimore area include National Security Agency. You got Fort Meade, the U.S. Cyber Command Center for the entire United States. And with that, think about it. You got the National Security Agency, you got the U.S. Command Center, and everything around that is all defense contractors, cyber security firms. How about this? In Howard County, in Columbia, is Tenable, the largest cyber security firm in the nation. The Baltimore Peninsula, a $10 billion project, has Compass, CyberPoint, Phalanx. Baltimore Peninsula is being designated as the Silicon Valley of the East Coast for cybersecurity, be close to that DC BWI airport and being centrally located. So how about this? Education. There is a tremendous demand out there for teachers in the Baltimore area. Howard County and Montgomery Public Schools are some of the top ranked schools in the nation from a public school standpoint. And that's per niche.com and also greatschools.org. So you got to check that out. There's always demand for teachers. If you're talented, they want you. So you also have, from the collegiate standpoint, Johns Hopkins, you got Loyola, you got UMBC, HBCU, Morgan State, the University of Baltimore. Boom. Healthcare, another area. You got major hospitals here, top hospitals. We'll talk about that. I'll list them out, and research centers right here in the Baltimore area. Of course, you got the University of Maryland Biopark. Scientists come in to Baltimore from all over the world to study and train there. Johns Hopkins Hospital is a teaching hospital. Johns Hopkins Healthcare and Medical all through the Baltimore area. You also, let's go back to government agencies. You're surrounded by D.C. You got the state capital of Maryland in Annapolis. You have NSA, Fort Meade, Social Security Administration out in Baltimore County. So you have all these different government agencies. That's why we got 1.6%. How about this? Under Armour, headquarters, Baltimore, Amazon, huge presence in the Baltimore area because of its central location. McCormick's Place in Hunt Valley. I live in Hunt Valley. It's a manufacturing center also. That's their world headquarters. Johns Hopkins Applied Physics Lab, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman. You got Marriott International. I can keep going on and on and on. The Baltimore area, the average salary is $71,000 per year. And that's per ZipRecruiter. So Baltimore is definitely the land of honey. Yummy. Of honey and bacon. You make that bacon here in Baltimore, I promise you. You got an unbelievable, massive job market. My number one goal here is to showcase every inch of the Baltimore and the greater Baltimore area through our videos so you have a complete understanding of the best area that fits your lifestyle. This is all about you. If you're moving about or relocating to Baltimore, Maryland or the Baltimore suburbs, then subscribe. Tap the bell so you're the first to know about the current market here in Baltimore. I promise you, it is changing all the time, and you will get the truth. We got you covered.
I'm your knight in shining armor.
Ha! I know you want the cons, and I'm going to give you the cons. One thing you're going to get with me, I'm going to tell it to you as it is. Number one, let's get to it. Elephant in the room, it is what it is. High crime rates in Baltimore City. I get it. Look, and I will not apologize for nothing. Baltimore has definitely made some headway, but again, look, and I'm not piling on because I love my Baltimore, but look, there's still a crime problem in Baltimore. Baltimore consistently, we're talking about urban Baltimore, consistently ranks among the most dangerous cities in the United States. It's got a high incidence of violent crime, including homicides, robberies, assaults, and the flavor this month or this year seems to be carjackings and car theft, or rather car theft. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And you know, according to Forbes, Baltimore is the fourth most dangerous city in America based on its population. So don't get lost in that. We're not like big size New York or whatever. You can't compare apples to oranges. Ha! Anyway, made me think of Ray Lewis for a minute when he said you can't compare. I don't know. Anyway, I got lost on that. Anyway, Baltimore's not the wire. You know, the crime takes place in very specific areas, day in and day out. It's not widespread. I understand your concern. There are neighborhoods such as Sandtown, Winchester, some areas of Park Heights. You got, and also Cherry Hill, that are definitely disproportionately high in crime rates, including, you know, and it definitely impacts the residents' safety and the peace of mind. I understand that. According to the FBI, you know, they tell you stay out of Cherry Hill or Sandtown, Winchester. There's nothing in those areas of tourist attractions. I mean, it's just unfortunate. You know, the majority of the crime, including the shootings, again, they're going to happen in those concentrated areas. Thus, at times can spill over to the outlying areas. Look, it is a con. It absolutely is a con. But car theft, as I mentioned, it's the flavor of the month. My broker lives in Baltimore, fabulous area. And, you know, it's just crazy. He came out at 3 o'clock in the morning. His beautiful 3500 Denali pickup truck was popped within 60 seconds and gone. Gone! So, anyway, we got to remember, though, that Baltimore is the 20th largest metropolitan area in America. And Baltimore's not alone. And I'm not pacifying it, I promise you. I'm real. But Baltimore is not alone from a city standpoint that has challenges, because you got Austin, major challenges. You got San Francisco, chaos as far as the theft and the break-ins, out of control. And I'm not getting political here, and it might sound that way, but there's definitely been a step back from policing, and it's definitely had an impact. And I'm not saying the rest of everybody, but there's some tolerance here that we cannot put up with. But I can go down this road. It's just reprehensible some of the things that are taking place. And it just doesn't happen in Baltimore. So if you don't want to live in urban, we talked about the greater Baltimore area, and you have options. Number 2 is an absolute con. Some people don't want me talking about it, but tough. I'm going to talk about it because Baltimore City Public Schools, please. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening down there in Baltimore City from a public school education standpoint. Kids need to get educated. If you choose to live in Baltimore City, the schools are absolutely challenging. There are some absolute standout schools. Roland Park Elementary School, City College, you got Polytech, you got Hamden Elementary School, Hampstead Hill. So there are good quality schools. You also have the Baltimore School for the Arts, where Tupac went and Jada Pinkett Smith went there. Anyway, there's some dynamite schools, but look, these schools down in Baltimore City, some of them don't have heat during the winter. They don't have air conditioning, some of them, and they're the fourth most funded school system in America. Where's it go? Don't know. They got some unbelievable dedicated teachers down there like Jess Long, one of my associate Harry's wife, and she works in Cherry Hill. How about that? But she's dedicated. And there's a lot of teachers out there that have the same approach, and they're dedicated to the students. So it's not all the teachers. They just have issues. Some of the teachers are actually buying their own supplies. What is that? You got kids graduating in the 21st century that don't know how to read and don't know how to write. That is that blows me away. So the schools in Baltimore City, you got to check them out. It's a con. And if you're a family living in Baltimore City, you got to prepare for that, because you might have to go the private route. And guess what that does to your budget? It goes up. I got my twins in private school, and it ain't no joke. It's expensive, but you get what you pay for. But it's unfortunate that you got to go down that road if you live in Baltimore City and you don't have that option from a public school standpoint. The third con on the list is a combination of traffic and public transportation. So we talked about the crime. We talked about the public schools in Baltimore City. Traffic, oh my God. Everybody owns a car in Baltimore. It just seems like, I know that's everywhere, but the Baltimore Beltway, that's the Beltway that circles around Baltimore and goes through all 5 counties. And they've been doing construction on that Beltway. I don't know. It just seems like forever. Oh my God, the Baltimore Beltway just drives me nuts. It could be 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes. There's certain bends around that Beltway, it's all jammed up. BWI Parkway, coming out of Baltimore, heading down to DC, 2 lanes on each side, and take a Percocet. I'm telling you, it's an extraction at times getting down BWI. But one thing for certain, our highway, we have great highways, and you can go off in different directions and you can detour it, but still, the traffic in Baltimore can be a little bit of a con, a big con. You got limited public transportation. Baltimore, we have public transportation. It's maybe not the best system in the world. We have a subway. I took it from Reisterstown down to State Center in the heart of Baltimore, to University of Baltimore every single day, but it doesn't splinter off in different directions. But I love the subway, but I get what they're saying. You also have the MARC train. That's awesome, from Baltimore to DC, also to the airport, and also up to Philadelphia. You do have the light rail that comes out of Hunt Valley, where I live, all the way down to Anne Arundel County in Glen Burnie, and it stops at the airport or Camden Yards. That's efficient, but it doesn't splinter off. The MTA buses, we got buses. From what I hear, that they're not efficient, and I would absolutely lose my mind if I was always waiting for a bus. So again, traffic, it's a con. The public transportation system in Baltimore, whatever. It is what it is. I'm sorry. We don't have it. It's not that good. It's there, but I could go on and on and on about the pros and cons about living in Baltimore, Maryland. I love it. There's a lot of good things here. But you got to check out my 7 best suburbs, because there's always something there for everyone. Everyone. I love you, Baltimore. I know you take a bad route. I love you. The 5-county area, the greater Baltimore area, it will absolutely give you bang for the buck, and it will be home. I promise you. Love you, Baltimore.